The Louie Bellina Show, final hour Monday. The Louie Bellina Show, I'm inside the Charles Schwab studio Monday. Low cost, full service, best of all local. That's Schwab. That's Mark Sim. He is our Charles Schwab local branch agent dude. You can find him online at schwab.com/College Station. Charles Schwab Company Incorporated, member SIPC. Going to talk a little Aggie baseball in about 2 minutes at most. And we're going to go around the rest of the world of sports, MLB, hockey, and more. And then at 1:35, we'll wrap things up basically with a listen in. Rashawn Agee and Rylan Griffin both met with the media after the selection show yesterday. So that is the game plan. I do need to remind you, you've got 34 minutes left to text. Give yourself a chance to win a pair of tickets to Chili Fest. The ticket booth is open. And that's thanks to Dixie Tire Company. Wherever the ticket booth is open on the Louie Bellina Show, that is thanks to Dixie Tire Company. Text 979-693-1150. And every single day this week, I will give away another pair of tickets. And they're 2-day passes to go to Chili Fest 2026. How does that sound? To me, it sounds great. Let us begin. Aggie baseball goes to Norman. They lose 2 out of 3. They lose the Friday. They lose the Sunday. And a lot of people, of course, are fixating on the rubber game. 12-11. OU wins it in the 8th. That's when they got the go-ahead run. And the game was sloppy and it was messy, and A&M committed 3 errors and walked a small village. And I kind of think the series was lost on Friday night. I look at Sunday, and weather was the storyline. That I'm not sure the game should have been played in that weather, but both teams played in it, so it was equal, and that's all true and fair. But the Friday night game, A&M scores 4 in the first, and, OU pitcher walks a small village. They get 2 of their runs on an error, so 1 hit gets you 4 runs. So they're spotted a 4-run lead, and your Friday night ace is on the mound. Sadeo, got roughed up. Then you've got the lead effectively reaching the late innings, and Juan Vargas is your setup guy, and they played home run derby on him. Then you bring in your closer, and he gives up the go-ahead. So in a game, I'm going to keep it simple, that you get spotted a 4-run lead, I think you need to win that game 9 times out of 10. On a game where you have a 4-run lead with your Friday night ace, full bullpen, your setup guy and closer fresh, I think you kind of need to win 10 out of 10. You got 13 free passes. I think it was 11 walks and a hit better. 12 free passes. And I can't believe I'm going to say this in a game that you scored 7 runs, but remember, it took an error to help bring home 2 of your runs. They need to get more out of it. Why did they not? They struck out 13 times. Those are those bad outs where with all these free passes, you're not advancing the runner. You're not non-productive outs. You're not advancing the runners. You're not putting pressure on the defense with all the strikeouts. And I understand the other team plays too. The other team is trying to make you not succeed. I'm with you. But 4-run lead, and you can extend it out. Lead in the mid, you can buy insurance. A game you lose by 1 run with your Friday night ace, setup guy fresh, closer fresh. You can't lose that one. OU, give them their part of, they played a role too, but you got to win that game. And so that's why I think they didn't win the series. And you remember what we were talking about last week. We're going to find out so much more. Well, took 1, didn't get sweep. Other 2 were 1-run games. The only, if you want to be questioning, if you want to be pondering in your head, how good is OU? You took the Saturday game. You took the second game, by the way, the mid game in the series, 9-5, pounded 4 home runs, played home run derby. In that game, Sorrell, Hakopi, and Jordan and Kellner, basically the top of your lineup plus. all just, took shots, took the ball out of the yard. 9-5, the only non-one-run game. Because it was 8-7 Friday, decided in the 8th. And then the rubber game, 12-11, decided in the 8th again. So if you think Oklahoma's a top 10 team, you went on the road at their house and could have won all three, should have won 2 out of 3, played them to 2 one-run games. So how frustrated, because that was one of the text messages I got. Someone said, they're frustrated by the diamond sports. How frustrated can you be? I mean it when I say that too. Their first, they played the one game UCLA. Arizona State, who they beat on the Sunday, is now top 25. That win looks even better, does it not? And when you lose by a run, you can point to probably 5 or 6 or, 4 or 5 moments of why you should have won. Again, I just think Sunday was such a bizarre set of circumstances. A weird game, but the Friday, if you have a 4-0 lead on a Friday night with your ace setup guy and closer, you should win 10 of 10. You got to win 10 of 10. You did not get a quality start from a single starter over the weekend. Weston Moss went the deep. It was 6 innings, but due to the lead, he still gave up 5 runs in 6. And that was the deepest. Sadeo 3 2/3 with 4. Aiden Sims had a rough introduction to SEC play on Sunday. Because A&M's pitching had been the storyline entering into SEC play. Did not go well. A&M's offense. Man, did Chris Hakopian announce his arrival, his welcome back? Homered Friday. Not in Homer Friday. On Friday, he just went 2 for 3 with 2 walks. Then he homered on Saturday. Yeah, it was fun just to see how comfortable 2 for 4 with a walk yard on Saturday. It was just fun to watch him play. It gave you the tingle of how good that top of the order could be. Wesley Jordan, who returned to the lineup too, made his impact instant. And you just see, I say again, top of the order and how scary it is going to be throughout SEC play. Again, unfortunate. Should have won the series. Could have won all 3. Definitely should have took 2 out of 3. Should have won that Friday night game, is how I look at it. Now, how many times can you say coulda and shoulda? The answer is not really that many, because you don't get to make up games in the SEC. You don't get to, we'll just pull that one game back later on. The league's a little too tough for that. You don't have Patsy's Ask Missouri last year. But I had a text message earlier like, did they cost themselves a regional? No. Plenty of games ahead. I say it's tough to sweep in the SEC, yet there were 3 sweeps on the opening weekend. Maybe that tells you how tough the top end's going to be when you got like 3 of the top 5 teams in the country. 3 of the top 6 are SEC. But that also tells you the challenges ahead. The week ahead for Aggie baseball, Texas State, Tuesday, 6 o'clock, 5:45 pregame here on the Zone, 11:50 a.m. and 93.7 FM. Also, of course, the Zone app. You can listen at radioagland.com and you can tell Alexa, play Zone 1150. Then Georgia will make their way to, Blue Bell Olson. And I didn't look at the updated. You know what? Let's do that together right now. I looked at them earlier, and I'm a moron, but should have printed them. Okay. Let us get the updated D1 baseball top 25 rankings to see where we have ranked for Georgia. They still number 7. Updated, they're number 7 in the country. So A&M baseball, back-to-back. What a way to start your season. Top 10 teams. Oklahoma slipped a spot. Well, no, they didn't. Oklahoma moved up D1. They're 8 now. They were 9. There's so many polls out there. Georgia, who will be at Blue Bell Olson this weekend, is number 7. And that's who the Aggies have up next. And I say again, what a way to start. What a way to start SEC play for Aggie baseball. But the Oklahoma series could have won all three. Should have absolutely took 2 out of 3 because it was the Friday game. But take from this, beat Georgia at home. Take a top 10 series 2 out of 3 at least. That's actually what I want to see after the experience of last weekend. Got a text message here from the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. Texas Mobile and Lube Express, owned by Gabriel Garcia. Rusty Burson, Aggie historian and author. I am disappointed by losing 2 out of 3 at OU, especially with 12, especially with 12 free passes on Friday. Rusty, striking out 13 times kind of negates those 12 free passes. That's the crime in the story. But Rusty said, but I am far. Ooh. Rusty used all caps on the word far. And the thing is, he's a writer. He's an author, not just an Aggie historian. So when he uses all caps, that is not an accident. He means all caps. But I am far from frustrated. I love the fight by the hitters in the final 2 games, and Freshcorn was a magician on Saturday. Yeah, what? Bases loaded, nobody out. He escaped? Yes. Getting out of a bases loaded, no out mess, if I would have just read ahead. Beat the hell out of Georgia? I think we will be fine. Yeah. Is it too early in the year to even say they have to win the Georgia series? It is a top 10 team. But why do I feel like after letting the OU series escape that they need, is that too strong of a word? That they need, is that the wrong word? Need to take the series against Georgia. Do you ever need to beat a top 10 team 2 out of 3? Because that's a pretty big ask unless you're a top 10 team yourself. In Aggie baseball, question mark, are they a top 10 team? Are they a top 15 team? Are they a top 25 team? I think we're establishing the level of what they are. So, it might be ridiculous to say they need to beat a top 10 team because A, it might be too early, and if you're not one yourself, you can't say that. If you want to be hosting, beat a top 10 team in a series at home, not just participating. Georgia had that emotional series with Tennessee. Oh, that was the one with the meme bat slam where it actually was caught on the track, and then you got to have the egg on your face. By the way, I guess I asked Mitch Light this, our lunch hour, and I guess I could throw it out to everybody. Maybe you weren't here, but pro or anti home run bat slams? We saw it, Tennessee, Georgia, when it was caught. So that was premature bat flipping. And we saw it, A&M OU, and the OU player got tossed, and Michael Early was not a fan of that moment. I saw people get on Early's case. Personally, I got no problem with a coach that wants to fight for his team. I got no problem with a coach that he's just not going to take it. Elko slams a chair, they beat Notre Dame, and they get 11 wins. If Early is just not going to take it, I'm good with this, by the way. So, bothered me 0.00% that he was tired of it or just didn't approve or however he felt, but he was fighting for his team. Last year, maybe too quiet or too much time spent watching and learning. This year, maybe he wants to be a little more out there and exert who he is. Go, coach. Go, coach, go. That's just kind of my angle on the storyline. I was cheering him on. Oh, that got heated. I know F-bombs are dropped. I thought MF bombs, at least by the assistant on Tennessee, I thought it came back from the A&M dugout. And I'm sitting there going, in the SEC, it means more. This is the first game. Opening weekend, first game of 30? And we got coaches going at each other from across the diamond. Do you think either coach said, hey, you meet me in the parking lot after the game? Because, man, opening game, and this is what we got. And neither team was Tennessee. Because if it's Tennessee, you're like, another day that ends in Y. So that got heated. Quick text message before we have to take a timeout that says, Louie, need is the appropriate word. Okay. And remember something, my word choice, my thoughts are reflected for if you want to host. Not make the NCAA tournament, but if you want to host, I think you need to win the Georgia series. You got to beat somebody, not just, okay, don't get swept. And I would say, and then beat the dregs. Who's the dregs in the SEC? How does that work? Where are the series you get to win if you're just beating the dregs? Plus, if you can go on the road, 2-1 runs and win a game against a top 10 team, and now Georgia comes in top 10 team, you should just flip it at home. That should put you over the hump, right? I'll be right back. It is the Louie Bellina Show. It is Monday. It is our final hour here on The Zone.
You can get the podcasts of Texans Live, The Louie Bellina Show, or Chip Howard at zone1150.com, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
You've got 16. Oops, clock just turned. 15. No, 17. Hey, Jeanette, do you remember what, 137? Was that the time that the contest is? It 137? Do you remember what time I said? 1:30. No. I announced on air because I started late. You weren't listening. Jeanette's my first producer that actually doesn't listen to my show. It's very fascinating. 1:37, I think, is the shutdown time if you want a chance to win a pair of tickets to Chili Fest. Every day, this week, I'm giving away a pair of tickets to Chili Fest. And today, text, get registered. We'll blind draw. We'll do that whole thing. 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. You can light up the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. And I think it's 37 is when the clock runs out. So, we're going to run with that. Feel free, text away. Okay. I kept saying the rest of the world of sports. This is closer to lifestyles because, I got to share this with you. Candy 95, Ted, Ryan, friends of mine, they don't do a March Madness bracket. And last year was the first year they did this. It's called Snackology. And many non-sports stations do a 16X bracket, 16 greatest movies of all time, 16 greatest songs of all time, 16 greatest artists of all time. This year I considered doing the 16 greatest beers of all time. And then you put them in brackets. And you got to pick. You understand the concept, right? Snackology last year took the world by storm by Candy 95. Here, within our 5th floor Bryan Broadcasting building, like almost everyone working here, we actually pick too. And people were comparing their snacks and the picks and very heated conversations. We take our snacks very seriously here. And today, probably less than an hour ago, Ted released the brackets for Snackology. Now, here's the toughest thing, why this might be the toughest bracket contest in the universe, because we're not picking our favorites. I have to fill up my Snackology bracket according to what the Candy 95 listeners, what they're going to vote for. So it is the hardest. Last year, I almost won, but I think I finished in dead last because this is the Snackology brackets. Okay, I'll share with you if that's cool. The number 1 seed is Pringles, and the number 16 seed is Welch's Fruit Snacks. Now, how many women, moms, kids, Welch's Fruit Snacks, and their kids worship them? Pringles should win like 90%. I guarantee you Welch's Fruit Snacks, sneaky high vote count. Could it be a first round upset? I don't know. And I got to pick this. And basically, if you miss like 2, you're not going to win this. It's brutal. Producer Jeanette has Welch's Fruit. I love them, by the way. I mean, that's why they deserve to be in a top 16 bracket if you think about it. The 2 seed is Cheetos. Now, I'm not sure about Cheetos. That wouldn't be my 2, but, And you know what the 15 seed is? Donut holes. And who doesn't love donut holes? The 3 seed, M&M's, and 14 is something I've never had, so I'd have a hard time voting for it, is Cosmic Brownies. That sounds very 60s. I'll just leave it there. The 4 seed, ooh, Starburst. Big fan. And they're going against the 13 seed in the Nilla wafers. We go to the 5, Chex Mix. Big fan. I don't see it getting very far, though. Chex Mix is very divisive, especially when you look at the others. By the way, they're going against the 12. Oh, OG vote here. Animal crackers. This is the Candy 95 Snackology. Year 2, by the way. And I'm telling you, people, they wanted to know. Ted had to update us. Ted was like, come on, people. No, Ted, you introduced this. The 6-11 matchup is one of the most fascinating matchups we have. Oatmeal cream pie against one I've never heard of. What are Kraft handy snacks? Anybody, is this a snack that anybody eats? Does your kid eat? I don't know. What is a Kraft handy? Okay, Jeanette, you know what a Kraft handy snack is?
I had to look it up. It's like cheese and crackers, like the where you take a cracker and you dip it in the little cheese cup at the edge.
Okay, it sounds phenomenal, but generally those things are so processed that the cheese shatters the cracker.
Yes.
And you can't eat it.
Yes, 100%.
And the cheese does not taste like cheese, right?
I voted against that.
Well, we all vote against bad cheese. I mean, that's just a standard way of life. But yeah. So am I thinking right? Bad cheese cup?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
100%.
all right. Thank you again. See, Jeanette got her bracket, and that's what she's been doing out there. She's been researching the Snackology. Our 7 matchup, ooh, sour candy against Nestle Crunch. That is 2 completely different universes of snacking. I'm a sour candy person. I'd probably put them all the way to the Final 4, but that won't win. And again, picking these is not about what you like. There is no, objective best. This is, man, what will the people, THE, people vote for? 8, 9. What? You put Hershey Kisses with 8. That is the worst seeded snack in the Hershey Kisses as an 8? No. Hershey's Kisses probably should be a top 4 seed. And the 9 is fudge strips, which I see them. Hershey Kisses is a top 4 seed. I think that'll be the blowout of the entire first round. Hershey Kisses will pull 99%, if not 100% of the vote. So anyway, Snackology is kind of taking over, at least Brian Broadcasting and Candy 95. Here on the Louie Bellina Show, I was thinking about doing our own 16. And what I was going to do, I might be able to do, but I'm having trouble finding some things. And calling it My Favorite Is, and just taking 16 things that we love and putting them in the 16, and then just calling it My Favorite Is. Like making number 1 the Godfather movie, and like number 16 would be like pizza. And you have to say what your favorite is, the Godfather movie or pizza. And that would be our bracket. My Favorite Is. And just take 16 things we love. Cheese or sausage. Just favorite things that in a sports universe, things that make us happy. A puppy or prime rib. My favorite is. Make you make the toughest decisions you've ever had. So, still time thinking about it, trying to figure out how to make that happen. That would be my bracket. The ultimate, toughest choice bracket you've ever had to, pick. Yeah. Just throwing that out there in the universe. When I started putting together favorites, I realized I have to expand outside of my universe. There's a lot of beer in that 16 favorites brackets. We could have fun. So anyway, I'll see if I can put that together. 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. In the rest of the world of sports, Aggie football, let me give you a huge heads up. Tomorrow, and I think it starts at 1 o'clock, maybe 1:30, Aggie football is doing a pre-spring football media day. Pre-spring football media day, where Coach Elko and both coordinators are going to meet with the media. Guess what? We'll listen into it the rest of the week. We'll listen in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Coach Elko and both coordinators, Hemp, Hill, and Higgins. Think about that when we're talking about the difference. A year ago, both coordinators, Hemp, Hill, and Higgins. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll hear what the coaches had to say. Pre-spring football media day with Coach Elko and both coordinators. Give you a heads up on that. Trying to think my way through. Rest of the world of sports, Aggie spring football is about to begin. I'll take a timeout. We'll come back. I got those listen-ins for you. We heard Bucky like 11:30, 32, after Selection Sunday. Well, Rashawn, Agee, Rylan, Griffin, that's what's next here on the Louie Bellina Show. Monday edition on The Zone.
You can hear Aggie baseball online at RadioAggieland.com. RadioAggieland.com.
The Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. The Louie Bellina Show, a reminder, D4 Land Services Hotline. You can call me. We can talk. People text all the time, but we can talk. People like Mitch Light, and then Wednesday? Oh, Alan Ward of Brigadoon Brewery at 12:35. He's going to have his monthly beer recommendations on the D4 Land Services Hotline. Cedric Gold and Rusty Burson will join me on the D4. Holy cow. Jeanette doesn't even know this yet. She's my producer. I'm about to newsflash everyone. There is no Louie Bellina Show on Thursday and Friday. You know why? NCAA tournament. And this is a tradition. Here on The Zone, we're your home for the NCAA tournament, Westwood One Sports, right? We turn it on at 11 o'clock Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week from Westwood One. We will interrupt it for Aggie baseball and then turn it right back on afterwards. So basically, 13 hours a day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the opening weekend. They switch around from the games. They take you to the best games, just like if you were watching it on TV, right? But of course we're going to have Aggie. Hey, up to play in Georgia. We're your home for Aggie baseball, okay? So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's no Louie Bellina Show. There's no Paul Feinbaum. There's no Chip Howard. 11 a.m. each day. Hey, when does the Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric start? 11 a.m. So I won't be here Thursday, Friday. Wait a minute. No Rusty? No Cedric? I'm sorry. I'm a little depressed even on this storyline. That's how basketball go. Time now, man. So they won't be joining me on the D4 Land Services hotline. If you need forestry, mulching, pond construction, metal buildings, d4landservices.com. If you need help with your land, like cleared, excavated, fixed up, go check out what they can do for you at d4landservices.com. Time now, a listen in. Rylan, Griffin, after the selection show, Aggie basketball time.
Rylan, we're getting kind of tired of waiting to see that Texas A&M come up there.
I feel like every year, my team always the last team. Last year we were in the last bracket. The year before we were on the last bracket. So I just grown to get used to it at this point.
What do you know about St. Mary's?
Oh, they're big. They're physical. They played Bama last year, and one of my best friends from Bama, he told me that they're just big. They play physical. I haven't watched too much of them. I think they beat Gonzaga once this year, so it'll be a tough matchup. Any game at this time of the year is a tough matchup.
Staying in the South, how does it feel to go to Oklahoma City?
Oh, I feel good. It's a familiar place. It won't be a far flight, so we should have good fans and stuff like that. We should be ready to play. It shouldn't be no travel issues or anything like that. Just quick 45-minute flight. Hopefully our fans make it out there, and hopefully we get 2 wins down there.
What is the message to the fans?
Just come out. You don't want to take tournament games for granted. It's not a guarantee that every program makes the tournament. So even if you think that's the expectation of your program, sometimes things don't happen. So we definitely want to be here than not. So I would say I hope they come out just because you never know when, you got this opportunity again.
Beyond the excitement of getting into the tournament, which I think y'all knew you were going to get in, what's the mindset you think of this team after? I know y'all don't feel like y'all played as well as y'all can in your last game. So is this, how do y'all feel about going into the tournament after that game?
Oh, we feel pretty good. We had 2 good practices in between after that game. So I feel like that game was just a learning lesson. I'm not going to take too much from it. I mean, there's a lot of things that happened in that game that we need to clean up, and that's all we need to do. We need to just come back and clean it up. I feel like we'll be fine when we get out there and ready to play. Those type games that we just played, I don't take too much into them just because sometimes you just have a bad night. Sometimes it's a bad day in the office. One of my friends, she's a teacher, and she was telling me that, one of the kids, or there was a bunch of kids actually that were being disrespectful and talking over her and being loud in class and stuff like that. And to me, that just reminded me of basketball. It's kind of the same thing. It's a bad day. You can't control it. We could control our effort, but we couldn't control whether the ball went in the hoop or not that night. So just a bad day at the office. So we just got to make sure that we don't have any more of those the rest of this season.
Like you said after the last game too, that it was just the first time a lot of these guys had kind of been in that big time tournament experience. Do you feel like that lesson was kind of learned after that game, and you definitely take that into this tournament?
Yeah. It's going to be a different level, though. The SEC tournament is just like an appetizer to the NCAA tournament, so glad we got all that out of our system. I'm honestly glad we had a game like that out of our system so we can knock it out before we, get into the real thing. So just making sure we're ready, making sure we're sharp, getting in the gym and getting ready to play a tough team on Thursday is going to be the main focus for right now.
You're a veteran of the NCAA tournaments. Is there any words of wisdom that you feel like you have to share with the guys on this team that maybe haven't been?
Just do what you do that got you to get you there. It doesn't matter. You don't need to change how you play. You don't need to change really anything. You need to do what you did to get there. And there's going to be a lot of different matchups that we see. We're going to see a lot of teams that we haven't seen, so that's good. New faces, we playing new faces and new personnel and stuff like that. So I think it'll be fun. The film has to be better because you don't have as much time to study for these teams. So we have to watch a lot more film, and we have to grasp idea of what these teams are trying to do to us and make sure that we don't let them do it easily.
To that point, you with that veteran ability there, what can you tell about the experience, game day, getting ready for it to guys that have not been in that situation?
Just don't be tight. One thing I feel is you can always sense when a team is tight. I feel like when my sophomore year we played Carolina, they were the 1 seed, we were the 4 seed. I could feel that they were tight as soon as we started the game. So that's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want any team to be able to smell blood on you. You want to be able to be the one to smell blood on other teams. So just don't play tight. Just come out there and play focused and play hard and do all the things that you did to get here, like I said earlier, and everything else will take care of itself.
How would you judge where y'all's legs are at, and how much help does it have to have a whole week off leading up to this?
It helps. I mean, everybody's nicked up at this time of year. Everybody's got some fatigue and body soreness and stuff like that, but nobody's going to listen to that as an excuse if you lose a game. So, we just got to act like it's not there if it is for some people, and come out on Thursday and be ready to go and have good practices leading up until then.
These last 3 games, you've really stepped it up. What do you think's been working for you, and how great is it to kind of be entering March with momentum, March Madness?
Just playing more aggressive. I feel like last game was actually probably one of my worst games I played just due to the defense and the energy level. It wasn't anywhere near where it was supposed to be. So, I'm definitely really, really mad about that, and I'm ready to get out there and play harder and have a better game because last game I was really, really upset with how I finished the game. And I know I can do better than that, and I know that's what I'm trying to do for the next game. So just knowing that, I had a bad game and just made a ton of mistakes that game, wasn't all the way focused in that game, and just getting ready for the next game and being 100% focused and 100% locked into all the winning things.
What kind of excitement and energy goes into this time of year and getting to play in the March Madness tournament?
Oh, it's exciting. I mean, there's a lot of teams that don't get into the tournament and play. I mean, there was even some good teams that got left out. I mean, I felt like Oklahoma was making a big run right there at the end, and they were in the first 4 out. So, I mean, they would definitely want to switch places with us. So we got to just be thankful for this opportunity, and we got to take advantage of it. We got to try to win games. And, we had an early exit in the SEC tournament, but all that stuff is going to be forgotten if we do it good in March. That's one thing I've learned since being in college. So nothing really matters until March starts. So try to make a good March, and you get remembered for what you did in March, not what you did any time before that. So that's the goal for me and the team.
When you think back to when y'all all first kind of got together, and Bucky's talked a lot about how, this team was picked from all kinds of different parts of the country. When did you feel like that maybe today, hearing your name called, could be an expectation from when that was like kind of all pieced together?
No, I feel like since the start of conference play, we really turned it up a notch to start conference play. We were really playing connected basketball, playing our best basketball at the time. So ever since then, I expected the tournament. Like if we didn't make the tournament, I was going to be very, very disappointed and thought it was going to be a unsuccessful and disappointing season. And to be honest, it's going to be unsuccessful to me unless we make a run at the end. So that's my biggest focus right now. And like I said earlier, all that stuff. You have ups and downs throughout the season. Everybody restarts in March. Everybody's 0-0. Nobody's averaging anything because it's a new season right now for everybody. So that's one thing that we got to know, because they're going to come with a bunch of energy, and there's no redos this time. So we just got to come out and give it our best every night.
And as players, what does it mean to give this staff an NCAA tournament berth in their first season here?
Oh, it feels good. Just something I hope they can build on in the future. Just know that, hey, we can win here and we can make runs here. Hopefully this is the last. Hopefully this is the worst seeding they get, and hopefully this is the worst. Hopefully this is the worst seeding they get. Hopefully they get top 3 or 4 seeds every single year from now on. But first year, 14 new guys, 10 seed is probably about what I expected, just because new coach, new guys, and I'm very, very happy about that. But hopefully, anybody else that comes here knows, this isn't really the standard. The standard is really top 3, top 4 seeds. So I hope they are able to do that in the future.
That was Rylan Griffin after the Selection Sunday show, and we wrap up our Aggie basketball listen. It started at 11:35 with Bucky McMillan. That was Rylan Griffin. We wrap things up with Rashawn Agee. Here's what he had to say.
Rashawn, just having never been in this tournament before, how does it feel to finally see your name and on the board and to be part of this tournament?
It feels great, to be honest. I was a little nervous. It was taking quite a time, but it feels good to be able to have this opportunity to go out and showcase our talent and play for Texas A&M.
Why were you nervous? Teams that y'all had beat had already come up. You knew the record. You knew where you finished, all those things. Why were you nervous?
I feel like it's just human nature to be a little nervous, a little anxious, especially, in this basketball world we play in, and you just never know. Anything happens, every day is a new day. So just a little nervous to just, finally be able to play in March.
How cool is it to just stay in the South, go to Oklahoma City? How does it make you feel?
It's cool. No matter where we was, I'd be thankful just to be able to do it.
As a leader of this team, to see where you guys came from game 1 to now, just how impressive has the growth been for you and this team?
I would say it's been super impressive just to be able to go out every day and compete against, each other, but also other teams, and, had a drive to, do what we did this year. I'm thankful for each and every one of the players and also my coaching staff. But, our job's not done, and we got a lot of work to do. So I'm just looking forward to it.
How much fuel do you get from the fact that, like we were talking about Rylan, that y'all didn't play y'all's best games last time out?
It's a lot of fuel because, understanding that we didn't do what we were supposed to do in the tournament, it sucked, having to watch other people play. But I feel like giving that time off to be able to understand the wrongs that went wrong during that game, but also the lessons that we can grow from, it helped us a ton.
Rashawn, can you talk a little bit about how much Bucky has been, a guidance and an inspiration for you guys going into this March tournament as well?
He's been super great because, every time he speaks or he gives his speech or he talks about how we need to play, and, he'll give his speech about the war, but, man, it just gives, goosebumps to your arms because it's you want to go out there and do so much and you want to be impactful no matter what it takes to win a game. So, he's been great, man. I'm super thankful for him because, he gave me an opportunity nobody else probably would have gave me.
What does it mean to be able to do this with a team that came together from so many different places?
I would say it's This is going to be a little different. I mean, at this point, we're brothers. I mean, we've been together, we hang together, we joke, we talk about each other. But the best thing is doing it for each other and understanding where we started is always the great thing.
What do you think about the matchup? I understand St. Mary's is supposed to be, a really big team. Do you look and say, so what? I see that every game.
Yeah, I mean, it's another day in the office. You got to go do what we got to do. I mean, regardless, in March, you're going to end up playing bigger guys. You're going to end up playing teams that's bigger than you. We just got to go in and do what we do. I mean, we've been working on a lot of things lately, so we got to roll it over.
How scary is this team? What's the ceiling?
Our ceiling is super high, especially when we making shots. We getting all the 50-50 basketballs. We rebounding the ball. We starting our breaks and we doing what we do in our press. I feel like, a lot of teams don't want to see us.
I'm sure growing up as a kid, you kind of thought about this moment, getting to hear your team's name called, and did it live up to the expectation, and kind of what was some of the things you were thinking about in those moments?
I was just, like I said, I was just a little nervous because my brother went through this process. He played at Iona, and just what I expected, a lot of ups and downs of like, dang, it's late. Are we going to be where we going to be at? Who we going to play? But, I mean, it's great to have this, this opportunity. Just kind of sad that I ain't going to be able to do it again.
Did your brother get in?
Yeah, my brother got in. They ended up playing, I think, North Carolina. They lost, though.
Rylan talked about how this is like where you make your legacy in March, playing this time of year. What kind of excitement and energy goes into this tournament for you and getting ready to play in it?
Super excited, As we know, everybody knows that in this time of basketball, each one of us, players and coaches, I mean, this can change our lives. It can affect so many people around, especially being from College Station and Texas A&M and what they've done in the past. To be able to do it now would be great. But, man, it's gonna be a good thing, to be honest. I just can't even, words can't explain.
I know this is a fresh start, new team and everything like that, but it is fourth consecutive, continuing a trend for the team. Does that mean something to y'all to keep that running for the program that carries over to y'all?
Absolutely. It means a lot because, I mean, coach's first year, we're starting a trend and we want that trend to continue. And like Rylan said, I mean, the trend isn't to just be, a 10 seed. The trend is to be a top 5 seed, top 3 seed, and do what we're supposed to do every year.
We talk about the uniqueness of you guys' style of play all year. How dangerous can you guys be in this system in a style tournament that you don't have much time to prepare for?
It's going to be great because, like you said, you don't have much time to prepare for it. You can't practice for it. You don't want your team to not lose, their legs. You want them to have fresh legs. So, you just can't practice for the style of play that we play.
What would you say are maybe the one or two things that y'all need to clean up come tournament time that just got over these last couple of weeks?
I would just say the biggest thing would be for me is just understanding that every game is a different game. You win some, you lose some, but there's lessons and you got to grow from it. Is I feel like the biggest thing for us.
Being from USC, did you have any games against St. Mary's, or did you ever watch them much on the West Coast?
Yeah, we actually did have a game against St. Mary's, and we ain't gonna talk about it.
That was Rashawn Agee. Before that was Rylan Griffin. And, we kicked off all the listen-ins way back at 11:35. It's been an Aggie basketball kind of day, celebrating the epicness, the greatness, the awesomeness. That is what they pulled off. One of the greatest things I've ever seen fighting Texas Aggie basketball. No. One of the greatest things I've ever seen Aggie athletics, Aggie sports, period, is pulling this team in to the NCAA tournament. And how many times do we say and have to document what Bucky had to do? Just incredible. When we return, we got to wrap it up. We're done on a Monday. It's the Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. That is CC Electric.
The Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio. Fun is allowed and sports are fun. Weekdays 11 to 2 on The Zone.
The Louie Bellina Show. We're effectively done. A couple of minutes left. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Awesome. Here is, everything is to be determined, okay? Tomorrow, 11:20, Logan Lee inside the Charles Schwab studio. In uncertain times, Charles Schwab remains invested in their clients, in you, by offering personalized guidance and clarity. It's personalized because Mark Sim is right here in College Station. You're not trying to work with someone who you're one of 1 million. He's in New York, LA, Chicago, but not here. Mark Sim is right here in College Station. Get answers to your questions. Learn more at schwab.com/College Station. 1120 Logan Lee. I'm trying and efforting to get Cedric Golden of the Austin American-Statesman at 12 o'clock. That's a question mark. We're trying to reshuffle things with no Thursday and no Friday because we have the NCAA tournament from Westwood 1 starting at 11 o'clock Thursday, Friday here on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Nothing definite, but it's what we're trying to do. At 1 o'clock, A&M men's tennis coach Steve Denton will join us on the D4 Land Services hotline. On Wednesday, A&M men's tennis takes on the number 1 team in the country, Ohio State. On Friday, they actually take on like top 5 Mississippi State. It's one of those all-time epic weeks. So we're going to visit with A&M men's tennis coach Steve Denton at 1 o'clock. And then on tomorrow's Tuesday, yeah. And then at 1:50, Community Spotlight. And it's, United Way of the Brazos Valley. That is all tomorrow. Look, I got to go. Thank you for hanging out with me. For everyone that texted, thanks for playing along with me. Do not forget, I also forgot, tomorrow, Chili Fest, another pair of tickets. Every day this week, the ticket booth will open thanks to Dixie Tire Company. Peace. Be awesome, everybody. Got to get out of here.
You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country, and Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Polaris Fun Center sells and service Polaris ATVs, Rangers, Razors, Global Electric Cars, Brutus, and the Polaris Slingshot. Polaris Fun Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC. And you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone.